Hello, welcome to the Stefan Modesti podcast. It is December 11, 2023, and this is my third story, my third little story for the day. And I will call this one The Ghost That I Saw. I'll give you a little unpack a little bit of information here first. I never believed in ghosts. I always thought to myself, man, if I ever saw a ghost, I'd be out the door, gone. I'd be, it was just a scary, scary thought. But, but I lived on the top floor with some roommates. It was like an apartment on top of this mansion. And this mansion was well over 150 years old or whatever. It was a really old house. It was a mansion that was cut up into different apartments. And I had some roommates and we rented the top. And at one point in the history of this place, it was originally first the mayor's home way back in the day. It actually had a driveway that went up to the back, and it had some stables. Now, the stables were not there anymore. Those buildings were gone. The stable was gone, but it was before the car. I think it was in early 1800s. So anyways, really old house. Somewhat like a castle, but, a real solid brick mansion and a legitimate mansion. And at one point through its history, it was a hospital, and it was called the House of St. Jude. It was for a Catholic, I believe it was a Catholic, an Irish Catholic sort of hospital for unwed mothers or something like that, something about a hospital for women. And actually on the top, near the roof, on both sides, there was a ivory ceramic face of a woman, and that was the St. Jude. Apparently, I don't know if it's biblical, but St. Jude is the founder of Lost Causes. I don't know if it's a Catholic story. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's actually religious, but, leave a comment on there if it is, if you know anything more about it. But it was called the House of St. Jude. It actually had that logo or a plaque downstairs and it said St. Jude or something along that line. So it was a really old home. And obviously being a hospital, there's a possibility that maybe somebody died in there. I don't know. But anyways, I was at the top floor, and I think it was my second week in this place. And my room was at the end of the hall, and the other end of the hall. My room was at the end of the hall, and I had to walk to the bathroom, which was at the other end of the hall, opposite of my room. So it was about 3-4 in the morning, and I went to, go to the wash, go to the toilet. And I had the door to my room was really a light door. Like, it had no resistance. It's the kind of door that you could just, push it and it would slam, or if you push it too hard, when you open it, it would slam into the wall on the other side. So it was a really loose door in the sense of it was very light. So I had to pee. I get up. I go around the corner of my room. I open the door and I go. And as I go, I remember I go to push the door closed, but as I pushed it back, I realized halfway through that I didn't want to slam the door. So as I walked out and pushed the door to close it, I realized I put too much energy into it. So what I did is I kind of reached back and hold it from actually hitting, and I just held it. And then I just kind of let it open again. I kind of pulled it open a bit. Just sort of almost open, or almost all the way open. But anyways, I opened it up, and as I turned, I felt something go past me, it felt like a cold air, like wind, whoosh. And I thought I saw something. And as I turned my back, all it was like a white sheet that just went, whew. And it was somewhat opaque, it wasn't, it was kind of you could see through it a little bit, but it was a white sheet, and it went whoosh, around a corner. It was like a woman in a white dress, I guess. I guess that's what it was. I really didn't see a person, but I did see it was like a sheet. This went whoosh, right into the corner. And I went I had shivers. But I remember a long time ago hearing that if you ever see a ghost or think you see a ghost, do not acknowledge it. And that crossed my mind. So you know what I did? I went right to the bathroom. Just as if I didn't see anything. I just acted like normal. Inside, I was, oh my God. Anyways, I went to the bathroom, and as I closed the door, I kind of looking down the hallway, but I didn't want to look like I was staring. I kind of just looked and then closed the door. And now I just had to take a pee. But you know what I did? I locked the door and I sat on the toilet because I wanted to buy some time here. I had to think this over, man. I'm like, is this for real? So I'm one of these people that, like, I really had to convince myself that I was awake. So I sat there and I pinched my leg and think, yeah, this is me. I was pinching my leg. And I'm like, at the same time, I'm trying to be cool because I'm thinking maybe this ghost is watching me. So I want to, I was kind of like mostly doing this in my mind, but I was pinching my leg, squeezing, I'm awake. And I was saying my name. Okay, my name is Stefan. I live here. This is my house. I'm awake. And I'm like, looking at my hands. I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, I'm awake now. This is not a dream. This is not a dream. So I'm thinking, okay, this is for real. I go, did I really just see what I thought? Did I just, And I sat in there for about 35 minutes, no joke. I was also listening, like if one of my roommates wanted to come out to use the washroom or whatever. I mean, I was listening, attentively as well as, for this ghost or whatever the hell that was. But anyways, I was sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, is this for... Then I'm thinking, I got to go back in that room. Like, what am I going to do? I'm in my, I was in not underwear, but I was in a track pants and nothing else. Bare feet. It's winter. I'm not just going to walk out the door. Like, where am I going to go? And I'm not going to go back into my room and get my car keys and take off. Like, I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, how do I, I'm thinking to myself, I couldn't even believe I'm thinking about that. Like, am I going to go negotiate with a ghost? Like, what the hell did I see? Should I leave? Should I run? Anyways, all these things go through my mind. I said, just, you know what? I didn't feel threatened in any way. I was just, freaked out. But I didn't feel threatened or in danger that I know of. It didn't look menacing, but it was damn well like a semi-opaque white object that looked like a bedsheet. And also, I've told people this story before, and they say, oh, well, was it your curtains blowing around, or was there, did you have some... There was, on that wall, like if you open the door to that room and look straight, there was just a bare wall. There was nothing there. I had no closet, no nothing. It was just a bare wall, right? Most of my room was around the corner where I had a dresser and all that kind of stuff. So there was no thing or curtain or anything that could have been mistaken for what I saw. So I decided to go back in. So I after, like I said, I think I was in that bathroom for 35 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. But I washed my hands about 6 times because I was just trying to stall everything. So I walk back and I'm like, I'm going to pretend I didn't see it. So I'm going to go in, close the door, unless I see something there ready to kill me. I'm just going to go die right in my bed. And that's what I did. I walked in the room, I closed the door and acting totally normal. Right? Like do. And basically just fell into my bed and threw the sheets right up over me. And I listened. And obviously when I came back in, I didn't see anything at all in the room. And I sat there and I was like, for about a good half an hour, I was just like lying under these sheets with the lights out. And then I slowly started pulling the blanket out and looking around, and there was nothing. But what's kind of freaky was that the street lights from outside were reflecting the pattern of the tree leaves all over, because my windows didn't have blinds. So the pattern of the leaves in the trees were all over the ceiling, dancing all over the ceiling. There was just tons of shadows of like trees and branches, like leaves. It looked like a leopard, you know what I mean? Like very patchy, round movement of light and, shadows and stuff constantly moving in the wind. And that's, and eventually I did fall asleep, I guess. And you know what? I stayed there and I never saw anything ever again. But I was really creepy about that is, well, I don't know if it's creepy about that, but what's really weird about that or interesting about that is when I see depictions of ghosts and people, describe them as look like bed sheets and they're like floating, they're kind of hovering on the ground and it's not really a person there, it's kind of a person, not, whatever. That is exactly what I saw the way it was. I thought, man, like that's not a coincidence. That's what I describe as a ghost. No, I haven't seen any UFOs yet. Maybe that'll be my next story. Anyways, thanks for listening. Peace.